I can't believe it's been a month since we last spoke. It's Amanda from the Serendipity Experience.
Hey, hello, Dougie.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. I'm very good. Always have a little. My heart skips actually when I'm coming in here. Yeah, it does.
I don't know,
love it.
I don't know quite what that means. Why
It means my
that
heart
would
is
happen.
skipping. What makes your heart skip?
High blood pressure, too much alcohol,
Too much
coffee.
No, I don't mean that. I mean that makes joy. That joy.
Oh, I see. Yeah. No, I get you.
That joy from within.
Joy from within.
Excitement.
We're back to the inside out thing again, aren't we?
From within. It's all inside.
It's all
out.
inside.
Inside out. That's how it is.
So what you been up to?
Well, I have been very busy. Really busy, actually. And I was just saying, I don't really like being busy. I like being productive. I like doing good stuff, and I like being able to rest. And then sometimes it just goes a bit bonkers, doesn't it?
In a good way, hopefully.
Well, it is a good way. I suppose it depends on what you do. So, as you know, I do coaching work, and a lot of the work I do specialises in the areas of habits, addiction, and recovery. And so it's funny because the other night I was speaking to my daughter, and I was like, it feels like sometimes you have days or you have weeks where it feels like, right, it's everyone's like, is the whole world just losing the plot, or is the whole world just, and I was speaking to Alice, it feels like, right, I don't know, everyone's having a bad day, everyone's having a bad time, everyone's all at once. Relapsing, everyone wants to, has got problems, and it's like, well, that's not really true, but it just is in the world that I'm in. So my daughter works in the world of travel, and she's like, it feels like me, like everyone's flying all over the world, because that's what I'm talking about all day, and that's what I'm seeing all day. And that's how it is, right?
Yeah,
whatever's within our awareness.
Yes.
Whatever's in our awareness looks like that's what's happening in the whole world. And of course, that's not true. It's just in this little, But I'd love to share, actually, a few things that have, really grabbed my attention.
Transpired.
Recently. Yeah.
What's been going on?
Well, it's funny that things sort of come like that, don't they? They come in waves, or they come in, I don't know, you get clients that are very similar things going. And what's come my way recently has been, which is really touches my heart, actually, the sort of innocence of clients who have had maybe some some sleeping issues, or things weren't going so good for them, especially maybe last year. Some people dealt better with that than others. And people that have actually started taking medication to because that's what they did. They went to their doctor, and that's what the doctor suggested, and it hasn't really served them very well.
Is that not just putting a plaster over something?
Well, I think the big thing that I've seen, and recently I joined a group which is called Mental Wealth Mastery, and I joined it. They two psychiatrist friends of mine who work in the UK, and they've worked in the NHS for many years, but they also work they call themselves holistic psychiatrists, who are opening a group for coaches and therapists, people who are the people that spend most time with people that are trying to come off medication that they've been put on. And the way they see it, it's like, doctors and psychiatrists are very quick to prescribe, but they're not there holding their hands. And I don't know that a lot of people actually really know how difficult it is to come off of things. And so, or how difficult it can be. So did a podcast recently, and it's so interesting, this group, because, obviously there's a number of us in there, and all got sort of similar stories. And people innocently take something because that's what they do. They're not sleeping. Or I had a case recently, it's innocent. Somebody caught COVID last year. After that they had tinnitus, and they went to the doctor, and they were given, a benzodiazepine, and it just...
For tinnitus?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And she's like, I didn't because she knows it was stressing her out. So obviously she's gone in with a story like, I can't sleep. It's driving me bonkers. I'm not myself. And it's just, knocked for six.
But you can't do anything about tinnitus, surely.
And and there's that, it's interesting.
Or maybe reprogramming.
Right. And, there's things you can take.
NLP.
Vitamin,
that kind of
vitamin
stuff.
C. Well, I don't know. I mean, there's all sorts of things that we can sort of, retrain the brain in that way. But for me, I was really happy to join this group because I noticed, I have a bit of a bias about medicines. I'm more into your natural. So, I love the promotion I see of the CBD oil, and I love the promotion of natural things. And I love the promotion, which is the work that I do, of helping people understand how their mind works and the connection between their psychological system that has... is so powerful, and there's a reflection there on our biology and chemistry. And I love people to sort of see that. So, obviously, that's what my program is based on. So when I see the innocence in someone who was like, she was like, I was just normal, And I'm like, yeah, I get it. And then, nobody really tells you those kind of side effects And so there for me, it just seems that has been coming in all directions. So I did so much research over the last, and every time a client comes, I suppose, working in the treatment centre for three years, I learned a lot about meds, and especially, but, when you've got a client who's got one particular, let's say, in this case, it's a drug called Lorazepam. And when, so I did my head goes into research, and then what I find just blows my mind. And I'm like, How comes we're in a world where we're dishing this stuff out and nobody's really, really warned about, how it can be? And so I all credit, the people that I work with, the psychiatrists and the psychologists and the GPs who are like, have more of a holistic kind of flavour to them, and really see that, wow, how about people understood how their mind worked first as the first port of call, rather than being put on meds.
Sounds logical.
Yeah, it does sound logical. And so that, I think there's an invite there for me that, I'd love to invite people, in fact, keep an eye on the Serendipity Experience, whether it's on Facebook or sign up for my mailing list. I'm going to do some talks within the community, just to invite people who maybe aren't doing so good, or how having problems sleeping, or anxious, anxiety, worried, stressed, and see if being pointed in the direction of understanding how that kind of all happens behind the scenes could be much more helpful before taking meds as the answer. I'm not saying meds aren't helpful for some people. I'm just saying that I don't know that enough people know about we shouldn't be on them for that long if we are taking them.
Exactly.
And so, people are on them for years. Yeah. Something that was designed as a sort of 2 to 4 weeks or something. When we were withdrawing people from alcohol, the treatment centre, then we'd use them for maybe 3 days or 5 days as a safety, so people don't seizure, to trick the brain, like you're tricking the brain, right? But they're not designed. They were never designed for long-term use. And so, so for me, that's been interesting, but also it touches my heart, because I'm like, wow. There was a conference I was on recently, and there's a guy called Dr. James Davies, and he's written a book called Cracked, and is psychiatry doing more harm than good? And the facts in there and what he says, have a look him up. He's got stuff on YouTube. But what were we talking about? About things that make a heart sing. That's what I was talking about when I came in here. Actually, you know what? The choir's opened back up, which has been amazing.
Oh, yeah, you were saying about that.
Yeah, I love it. And I think actually it'll be opened up to more people. If anyone's interested, once the numbers open up, there's a limited number. But it's lovely. We really enjoy that. I really miss the singing, and we're doing it with Michael Watson, who used to be
yes.
West End star. He was Frankie Valli in the Jersey Boys.
I know. I saw him today.
Did you?
Yes.
So actually, one of the songs we did was "Oh What a Night," and so it's just fun. Right? Yeah. It's just light and it's fun.
Well, it's good to sing, and it's those endorphins.
Nice.
Yeah,
really
sets them all
nice.
off, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that's been happening, and just busy. It sometimes goes like that, and I guess there's something about, Dougie, seeing people when you're really sitting in your compassion and in your empathy, and you're watching people who are really actually suffering, there's something for me about, I don't know how. What I want to say is I'm so grateful for the understanding that I have about how the mind works, about the message that we share, about how we've got everything we need inside of us, that we're all actually sitting within our mental health, which just doesn't look like that. It certainly doesn't look like that sometimes. But that, you know, we're designed for life. We're designed for experience. We're designed with innate resilience to cope with whatever madness happens in the world, and we all know a bit about that recently. And so yeah, seeing people, you know, we're seeing people that, that's how I see in my work, people are really thriving, and I love that. I love bringing people from that sort of, you know, bare survival to really thriving. And then you see people who are really suffering. And I think, you know, what has been apparent for me recently is I've been thinking about my own business, like, right, who do I really want to work with? Actually, do I want to work with people who are in their own recovery, or maybe do I want to work with people who are the families or the loved ones of people? Because that is, you know, that is something that I relate to so much. And I used to love working with the families from the treatment centre, because they're also having an experience. It's hard going through anything, like any sort of habits, addictions, recovery. But to watch somebody that you care about or love and not be able to take that pain away from them or help is, it's you know, it's an area where I think where I don't know, I like that. I like being helpful there. And for, you know, a lot of times I see this as well, like sometimes you might have it, you know, recently there's a dad I've been speaking to who's sort of saying, I would do anything, you know, for the children. So he's always been able to fix stuff. He can get them out of trouble. He can buy stuff. He can fix stuff. He can sort stuff. But, you know, seeing one of his children go through this, he can't do anything about that. Yes, he can pay for support. Yeah, he can pay for that. But he can't do anything about that. And that's kind of, you know, it's an area, right? And so that gets me intrigued. We're all having, like, you know, we see that. I think that most of us might see that we create our own experience, that there's experience being continually created. But we're also constantly having experiences of other people's experiences. So it's like, you know, there's living it ourselves and then the people around us, you know, and we've all got a different story. That fascinates me. You have one child in a family, let's say, or a young person. Been working a lot recently with sort of more like people in the age of like 18 to 24, that sort of age group as well. And it's cool because they want to listen. Like they're up, you know, they want to listen. And they're quick and they're on the ball, and I love all that stuff. But yeah, you might have a child in the family who's going through something, and you know, everyone in that family's got a different experience of that. So some people are worried, concerned. Others are like, oh, that's their thing. Let them get on with it. They'll be all right. Others are, you know, they're not sleeping. They're not sleeping because the other one's not sleeping. Right. It's like now, no one in the house is sleeping. So that's not good, right? No. You know, it's not good. We need our sleep, right? It's important. Or rest, anyway. I'm not so bothered. I think people get, for me, you know, people get so concerned about how many hours a night they sleep. But I think if you can just rest, that is so important for us. I don't think we're very good at resting.
I am.
A lot of us are not very good at resting. And the thing is, we can be sat down on the sofa, we can have our feet up, we can do all that stuff. But if our minds are not at rest, I think that's what we mean, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, so the old busy mind. Oh, it comes back to that again. If we're feeling any stress, worry, concern, we are feeling our busy mind. That's kind of how it works. The overthinker. Are you an overthinker?
Nah. Probably not. Probably underthinker, if anything. Yeah. No. I try not to complicate things with too much thinking.
Which is good because, you know, I think you're right. I think we do actually overcomplicate stuff innocently. Like there's an instance. I saw somebody had a T-shirt on the other day that said, "You're overthinking again." That's what it said on the back. You're overthinking again. Yep. So, a
lot of us do it without realising.
We do, innocently.
Yeah.
That's a good word, isn't it? I'll tell you another word the other day that I really like is mesmerising.
Oh, yes.
And that was in that song.
That was named after Dr. Franz Mesmer.
Oh, really?
Yes, he's Mr. Hypnotism. That's how hypnotism came about.
So I didn't know that mesmerising.
Franz Mesmer.
It's a great word.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He was a great man.
Yeah. So in that, we're like the Jersey girls. We are at the choir. We're not the Jersey boys. We're the Jersey girls.
Excellent. Excellent. Where can we hear you perform?
I don't know. You have to watch this
Nothing
space.
public at the moment.
Maybe have your international festival. When is all that going to start up then? What do you reckon?
Well, I don't know. I mean, surely it's got to go ahead this year, isn't it?
No, I don't know. I don't know that it will.
No, because it's usually it's July, isn't it?
I was speaking with the guys at Have Your Amigos the other day, and I was talking about the fiestas at the Old Town and all that stuff. And they were saying, they're planning for like they were talking about their sort of meetings for next year. But you've got, you think about San Juan and all those, and all the children that were turning 18 that they have there. It's like they used to be their year. They got 3 years to, by next year that's 3 years of people to celebrate their coming of age. So what's going to happen? Are we all going to go? We're all going to go nuts? Is everyone going to go crazy? Is everyone going to just softly just step into it?
I think they're trying to ease us gently.
Yeah.
Ease us gently back into what we've known before. So, yes, I mean, things aren't going to happen really till next year, are they? I mean, we're halfway through the year already.
It is actually.
I can't believe it.
The Spanish schools, today I was at Pilates before I came in here, and one of the mums in there was saying, I was like, it's June, the schools finish early, the Spanish schools, because they close early in June. I was like, that is, are we the only ones who think that this year has flown by? I wonder.
No, surely not.
I mean, it has just gone like that. Yeah. How does it go?
I'd like to remind you of a joke I hear regularly from Sandra. What do you call a fast cake? Scone. I hear this one regularly. I don't think my delivery does it justice. It does not do it justice. But
why do we just love silly jokes, don't we?
Oh yeah. Well, she loves all my jokes, which is great.
Then do you know what? She's definitely a keeper.
Yeah. I don't think she understands half of them because I don't understand. They're just daft. I mean, dafter than dad jokes. I mean, really. But
I think that's, for me, we're talking about Wellness Wednesday, and there is something about that. It's like keeping it light.
Yeah.
Where did it get so serious?
I know.
And
I know.
there is something about that. We know when people are feeling. I don't mean like an hysterical, like fake laugh. I'm just talking about that when you're just filled with joy, when there's just that natural joy, and you watch something funny, whether it's something old on TV or one of those sitcoms or something that you've loved from your youth, and it just tickles you, right? It just tickles you.
Oh, you know what they're showing on telly again? I didn't even know it was back on. But the BBC, God bless them, have started showing Fawlty Towers again.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So, I mean, I've just been dipping in and out now and again. But, it's good to see them again. I mean, it's nostalgia as well, isn't it? Stuff
it
like
is.
that.
Yeah, of course.
Bit of nostalgia.
And we like what we know, don't we? We like what we know. But there is something about lightness. That's that encouragement. People can, I don't know if you've ever been around anybody who's not in such a good place at that moment. It's heavy. It looks dark. It's like, and it's not so easy to be around. Also, for a lot of people are like that. That's their kind of that's their sort of resting place. It seems some people seem to hang around in a more joyful, happy space, and then they have the odd moment or the odd whatever, and other people tend to hang around in a space. But so I don't know that chasing happiness is what the answer is, because that's what I see a lot in the world. For me, it's that word peace of mind. And like, no matter where our emotions are at, if we've got peace of mind and we understand how our feelings work, then it's not so scary, it's not so frightening. It's not so terrifying.
Now, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you to speak about things like this,
yes,
for instance, what do they need to do?
Well, they can find me you just Google me, and I'll come up, and you can just call me. A good old-fashioned call. I quite like that.
What, a telephone? Telecommunications device?
Just call me. That's my numbers on the website, which is the Serendipity Experience, and I have a YouTube channel.
.com?
Yeah, .com. www.theserendipityexperience.com, and I have a YouTube channel, so you can go on there and you can watch a few videos to get to see whether
all under the Serendipity Experience.
All under the Serendipity Experience, and our recorded studio.
Mm-hmm.
Moments in here, they're all on there as well.
Yep.
So you can have a little listen to those, what we did last year, and just give me a call or send me an email, or if you see me flying around in the little red and white Serendipity van, then you can.
How is she?
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah?
She's good. Yeah,
Still going strong.
Still going strong.
Perfect.
She'll be up for her ITV. I think it's August. So we'll see. Last year it took me 3 times to get her passed in the ITV.
Really?
Yes. So, and that's the first time ever in 15 years. So she's always passed. Always passed, but never failed. And then suddenly, just couldn't. Anyway,
I knew your Serendipity bus before I knew you.
Oh, did you?
It was quite an iconic thing you
Right.
see around my way anyway.
Yeah. And now there's a few. Actually, I've seen a few more around. But then again, like that, I notice it. It's in my awareness, right? So I notice it. But yeah, it's just fun, and I love people. We did the walks. Neve O'Sheen and I did
How's
some
that
walks.
going?
Yeah, it was good. So we just did it in May.
Must get Neve in.
Yeah,
we must get Neve in to chat
it was
about
just
that.
walking in May. It was just to get a few people out and about, get people moving, and to just do a reach out to the community. Like, is anybody on their own?
Have you stopped doing them now?
Yeah, it was only just for May because we're
okay.
both super busy.
Yeah.
And we might do some retreat days, and we might do some mornings, and we might do some pop-up groups, pop-up walks. So if anybody wishes to join our pop-up walking group, but for us to commit to a certain time, we just, both of us have got a lot going on at the moment. So do get in touch with me, and I can put you on the group. And then if we'd sort of say, right, hey, we're doing this walk Sunday, let us know if you want to join, and not too big a crowd. We just keep the numbers so that we can walk and talk and reflect. And it was really nice for people. There are some people who have been new in town. They moved to Javier during lockdown, and they haven't met anybody. Because there's not been things going on until now. So that's been really nice. But I am going to do a couple of talks. In fact, I will post those later today. I'll be doing some talks for up to 10 people at Casa Serendipity. And I will do a couple on Zoom for people who can't get out in the month of June to just talk about mental health, well-being and connection, and really that is a kind of just reach out, how's everyone doing, and anybody feeling like connecting. And so I think that what I saw when people turned up and we had a nice picnic on the full moon night, people were like, I haven't done this. So it's, some people are in families, some people are in couples, but a lot of people are on their own, or they might be in a couple, but I don't know, their partner doesn't like doing stuff or going out, or is still, has got some thinking about what's going on right now and doesn't want to mix and socialise, whereas, somebody else in the family might. So it was kind of nice for that to just, you are not alone. Yes, come and be in the Serendipity tribe. Dougie, on Wellness Wednesday, what is something that you see is helpful for your well-being?
Oh, just a bit of peace and quiet, relaxing time, bit of sunshine, and my dog. Yeah.
For me, it's back to that keeping it light, and there's something about seeing how I talk about signposts in my work, and we do that when we're speaking with the children too, like knowing our signposts of when we're in our well-being, in our good place. And so if I was to say to you, how do you know when you're in your well-being? When you're your best self, how do you show up? Don't say funny. I'm fun. Don't say that.
No, but you see, I am hilarious. I'm bloody hilarious.
We'll be the judge of that, Dougie Mack.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. As long as I think I am, it's all right.
Yeah. So how do you're joking?
No. I mean,
how do you know? How if someone said, "Oh, he's in a good mood," how do you know? How do you see you show up?
I don't know. I think I have had so little of the darker side for a while that I don't know. It just feels natural and normal just to be light and
right. So
well, I am generally happy all the time.
So that
really.
stuff, light, happy, bubbly, funny, friendly.
No, you missed out hilarious.
cracks a few jokes and
Crap jokes. Sorry, I'm allowed to say
no,
crap.
I said cracks a few jokes.
Oh, no, I said crap, and I realised I'm not allowed to say that on the radio. It's actually not accepted.
Right, okay. Well,
It's accepted, but not accepted.
We'll forget about it.
Yeah, all right then.
No,
Did you think I got away with
didn't
it?
hear anything. And yeah, we're jokey, we're fun, we're and so we see that, and then sort of I like people to just have their awareness of the signposts that they're going a bit off track themselves. So if you thought you were slipping into getting a bit moody or getting a bit what we'd just call not ourselves or whatever, getting people to just reflect on those signposts. So for me, I might find myself getting a bit blamey or controlling or sort of pointing my finger of, I can't believe you said you were going to do that and you didn't do it, or I hear myself as here. So that's a signpost for me to know, my mind's got a bit busy. And if I start listening to those sort of thoughts that are coming through my mind, then I could be in a lot of trouble, right? Because they're not going to be very helpful.
Right.
They're not going to be very helpful. So there's a reflection for people to just be, and it might be easier to see it in somebody else.
Right.
Often we can see it in somebody else. We don't see it in ourselves. Or we see when somebody else is in their happy place, their good place, their natural place, their peace of mind. They're in their calm. They show up with gratitude. Their attitude is different. And then we see our own children or our own partners, and sometimes they're just like, they're off. They're off scale. And that for me is great when we get to know our signposts, because we kind of check in with ourselves like, I can see what's happening here. I'm going off piste. Right. I'm going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, no, I know
and we can if we can catch that a bit, and whatever it is that you do that calms your mind down, do more of that. It's not that we have to have techniques or strategies to calm ourselves down. It's the awareness. I've gone away from my well-being. Right. That brings us back to it.
Perfect.
Simply, that's what it is. The insight that we are not feeling jovial, fun, and whatever, and we can tell. It's like we show up differently, don't we? So that's what I would like to offer as a reflection of the day.
Okay.
To look out for your signpost when you is being moody.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, no, I totally get that, and I think everyone will know what that means, what you're talking about.
Yeah, for themselves.
We've all got that,
yeah.
And we might call it different things. And, but yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I don't listen to the chatterbox, then the busy mind, because it can tell me awful stuff. Then so somebody could turn somebody into the enemy in 5 seconds, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Thought they were great 10 seconds ago. Now suddenly you remember everything they've ever done wrong. It's like our minds act like
it's a dangerous weapon.
Well, it's so, because when it's sat in its logic, in its well-being, it operates from a different kind of logic. But when we believe that the world can affect us and that things have got the power to put feeling in us, we slip into our false logic, and we kind of, I like to talk about all that stuff when we do the course. But I would like to, may I read out a quote by Mr.
Please.
Aldous Huxley. How do you say it? Aldous?
I think my father used to call him Aldous.
Aldous.
But
people say it all differently. Aldous. We'll go with your old man.
Yeah, go on then.
Aldous Huxley. So this is I know it as being called Lightly, my darling. It's dark because you are trying too hard. Lightly, child, lightly. Learn to do everything lightly. Yes, feel lightly, even though you're feeling deeply. Just lightly let things happen and lightly cope with them. Lightly, lightly. It's the best advice ever given me. So throw away your baggage and go forward. There are quicksands all about you, sucking at your feet, trying to suck you down into fear and self-pity and despair. That's why you must walk so lightly. Lightly, my darling.
Perfect. Love that. And that brings us to news time. So
fantastic.
Thanks again for popping along, and we'll do it all again in a few weeks.
Well, we'll do it on the
first Wednesday of the month, isn't it?
Yeah, first Wednesday in July. So thanks to everybody who's listening, and anybody that wants to reach out, just please do that. Yeah, yep. Love to all.
Yes, have a look online for the Serendipity Experience.com.
That's right.